I see when they're like, we shot it down. I'm like, all right, calm down. I'm like, oh God, it's a threat. Oh my God. Like, no. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Orphic. I'm Alyssa with Interdimensional Astrophysics, and here's Mikayla with Mariposa Moonchild.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. We're recording this on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, this is Alyssa and Mikayla from the past.
Yeah. As usual. All right, wanna just do a little grounding for us for this episode, and then we'll get started?
Sure. All right. Okay, everyone, close your eyes. Use your head. Place your feet flat on the ground if you're able to. Let's even go hand on the heart. It is Valentine's Day after all. We're going to connect with some self-love here and grounding in. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's do a couple deep cleansing breaths. As always, take a big breath in. Fill your lungs all the way to the top. Pause. Open your mouth and release. And do another one just like that on your own. Letting go of anything heavy, anything dense, anything that's weighing you down. Letting it go now with the breath. And breathing in beautiful white light into your heart space with every breath in. One more breath. Fill your lungs all the way to the top. Pause. Open your mouth. And when you're ready, release everything extra that might be sitting on your shoulders, that feels heavy, anything negative, releasing it now.
Awesome. I feel much more in my body than I was a minute ago, so that's good.
Yeah, me too. I needed that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you have some things that you want to share with our audience today, eh?
That was very Canadian of you. Wow.
I say that sometimes, actually. I don't know why. Hey?
Oh, really? That's
easier.
funny.
Yeah, I do.
Well, this is not what I want to share, but I did go snowboarding with some friends yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. I'm feeling really sore and stuff, but we came across this American. It was actually funny because we were outside smoking a little bit of cannabis, and he kind of came out and he was like, "Hey, where's the best cannabis shop in this town?" This was Revelstoke, and I was like, I don't know, but he was American. He was from Colorado, Aspen actually, and he just sounded like an American, like just the way he talked. He sounded so American, and I just thought that was funny.
That is funny.
I don't know.
Of course, he's from Colorado.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey guys, how's the weed up in Canada?" And we're just like, "Hey man."
Welcome. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, or I think, or he came out. He's like, "Oh, that smells good."
Were you able to help him?
He had his own that he was smoking.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, he was asking you guys how the weed is.
Yeah, it just in Canada, I guess, or Revelstoke, or I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he must have gotten it from around there, but it's kind of funny because I don't think I've ever been like, this place has better than this place. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so to the news. That was a kind of sidebar. Okay. Well, we haven't recorded in a while, and we had Christmas. We've been home from Christmas, and then in December, Bryce and I decided that we're no longer going to date anymore because we got engaged.
Yay!
It's so funny. I feel like you have to do that. It's like the woo girl thing. You have to be like, woo!
Yeah, you gotta woo girl it.
Anyways,
and for the people lucky enough to be on the YouTube, show the bling.
My camera, it's like really overexposing the ring, so you can't really even see it, but that's okay. I mean, and by the time everyone listens to this episode, if you do follow me on social media, you'll probably know. But anyways, yeah, that's our exciting news. So
Yay! Very excited for you guys. Very happy. I know you guys have been together for a long time, so you've known in your soul for a long time that he's the one, and now it's official, and we get to have a wedding, and I get to be there, and hopefully I'll meet you in person before that. But, you know, it could also be like, happy wedding day. It's me, your podcast co-host of a year and a half. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm surprised you didn't throw in maid of honor there, because you've kind of have put that in there a couple times.
Listen, I've been backing off the maid of honor train only because you have two sisters, so lucky them.
Right.
I've already been a maid of honor for my sisters, so, you know, but if they don't want the title, then, you know, I'm happy to take it from here.
Sounds good. But yeah, I'm really excited. We're gonna have lots of fun. You're gonna get to come to Canada. Hopefully we'll meet before then. I mean, we will meet before then. There's no way that we can't. I just don't know where it'll be. Like, I don't know if it'll be.
I'm gonna come to Canada soon.
Okay, great. Yeah. And then, we're going to have a really fun wedding. So that's been fun. But yeah, so anyways, it was back in December. It was, which is fun. Just like, I'm a Sagittarius baby. So I like December. I like the snow. It's a nice time.
Love December.
Yeah, beautiful. It's like the Anastasia movie. Makes me think of that too. Did you watch that growing up?
I think not in a really long time. But yeah, so tell the story of how it happened.
Right. Okay, so it was the day before my birthday, which was December 13th, and I came home later in the evening, and the whole house was like very, very clean. So I was like,
clue number one
here. Actually, Bryce is pretty good at cleaning, but it was like very clean. And I like walked in, and it was like all dark, and there was like a little candle and a note on our countertop, and it was like, Mikayla, please come meet me outside in our beautiful backyard for an early birthday surprise. And then I was like, oh shit. And I was like, looking around. Pardon?
And what were you thinking in that moment?
I was thinking, in that moment, I was like, thinking it could be an engagement for sure, but I also was like,
but it was your birthday the next day too, so like it could have also been like a birthday surprise or something.
I have my crystal sound bowl, which we're gonna get into a second, but I feel like it's on the table and my voice is like kind of echoing off of it.
So the sound bowl.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to move that now.
Yeah. Looks so heavy.
Is heavy. So it was the day before my birthday. Come out to the yard for an early birthday surprise. So I'm like, okay, this is exciting. This could maybe be something like this. But then in my head, I'm like, but don't go there because you don't know for sure. And like, don't put that pressure on yourself or the situation. But then I'm like, what other early birthday surprise would it be? And also, like, if it's something else, like, what kind of fucking sick joke is that?
Yeah, right. That would be cruel. I would kill Bryce.
Yeah. But you never know. Like, I mean, he does little cute things here and there. So maybe it was some type, maybe he got us another dog. Yeah, right. Oh my God. Then I would really kill him.
That would be quite the surprise.
It would be quite the surprise. But anyways, so I was kind of like, like, I don't know. Like, it just kind of like, in anticipation, like, let's see what this is going to be.
Yeah. And when you were coming home, like, you didn't expect anything. Like, it was right when you got home from work, right? And you weren't expecting anything. You knew your birthday was the next day, but you were kind of just like, la-da-da, another day.
No, I wasn't expecting anything. Like, I walked into the house expecting, like, Osa to greet me, which she did, and expecting to, like, see Bryce on the couch, like, watching hockey or playing Xbox or cooking dinner, because he asked me when I was leaving, he's like, can you please let me know when you're, like, on West Side Road coming to our place? And but that didn't throw me off. I didn't think much of it because he does that a lot, to be like, to start making supper or throw like fries in like the air fryer or something. So like, I really didn't think anything of it, like, at all. So then, I got here, seen the note and the candles. Then I went downstairs and like out into our backyard, and there was Bryce with this like little laneway in our backyard full of like candles, or like, this little like candle lit laneway,
like a little runway.
A little runway. It's exactly what it looked like. And then like he made this little wood almost like arbor thing that he'd hung up like little twinkly lights on, and he had a little thing with like champagne and like wine glasses, and he was just like standing there all like proper looking. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. And it started snowing like the moment I pulled into the driveway.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. I love the snow, and you love the snow too. So it's that's beautiful.
And he had the fire going, so it was just like cozy. And he had his nice like dress jacket on, which I don't think I've seen him actually wear that in years, so I don't know where he even found that from, but yeah. And then I was just like, oh shit. So then I like started like walking up the laneway, and then now I'm like thinking more like, okay, there's a good chance this could maybe be it, but like you still don't know,
right? So. Yeah, you kind of still at that point you're like, well, probably, maybe, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so I did tear up when I seen everything though. And it's funny too, because he was like standing outside just like hoping that I wouldn't hear the fire or like see anything, but I didn't, because when I like come into our front yard, there's like a fence to the one side, and then like our backyard's on the other side, and then we kind of live up on a hill, so I was kind of driving up the hill and around the corner to get to our place, and I didn't see like anything in the yard or think anything of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But then, I like walked down the like little aisle to him, and we like held hands, or he like grabbed my hands, and he was like, Mikayla, and he like said this like little thing that I don't really remember, or he said some like nice stuff. The only thing I can remember him saying was something about when we were like in high school, and we used to like kiss it in the tower of like our high school, like while we were waiting for our parents to pick us up. That's so embarrassing. We were so young.
Yeah.
But that's all that I remember from it. Like, I mean, he said a bunch of other like really nice stuff, but like, you kind of like black out in that moment.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, everyone says you have no idea what you say, or you have no idea what the other person said. Yeah.
No, and I think he was a little bit nervous too. I mean,
understandably.
I hope so. Better be.
Right? He better be. Look at what he's getting.
But then, he said some nice words, and then he finally like got down on one knee and like opened it up and was like, will you marry me? I think I actually don't even remember him saying that, but he did say that, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, yes, and like I like put my hands on my nose, because of course you have to do that.
Right. Were you like thinking that? I mean, you probably don't even know what you were thinking in the moment, but
no,
yeah,
I wasn't.
You weren't thinking that. I know, right? That's every single proposal video. They're like,
or just girls when they laugh, they're like, I don't know. But anyway, so I was just like, oh my God, yes. And then he like stood up, and we looked at it and put it on my finger, and we like hugged and kissed, and he had the champagne nearby, so we popped the bottle of champagne and stood up by the fire, and then we let because he left Osa inside, which was probably a good call, so then we let her out, and we took some like pictures of us, and yeah, it was really nice.
It was like so pretty. And describe the ring for anyone that's not watching the YouTube. And what are you doing if you're not watching the YouTube? Check it out.
Oh yeah.
Describe the ring.
Yeah. So it's an oval diamond with just yellow gold like round band. So just like a thin band, oval diamond. I did show. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on the.
Yes, it's very pretty, very simple and pretty.
Yes, it's very, very me. I love it. It's really beautiful. I love it so much. And he did very well on that too. Because I think he looked at my Pinterest a couple times, but I have a bunch of different rings on there, because I also like really like unique rings, but I like kind of like a vintage feel. So I had lots of like ovals pinned, and he said that he'd been looking around for a bit, and he'd go into other places and look at silver ones or like other like I guess shapes and stuff, and he was like no, and then he like seen this one, and he was like, oh, that's the one.
Yeah
so he did really well.
He picked it himself.
He did pick it himself, which I really love, because I know sometimes other couples will like go together before, and they'll kind of like pick out rings and stuff, which is like fine, each to their own, but I really like that he like went out of his way to like do it on his own and like surprise me, and even like it's really special that he like picked out the ring, I think too, and that I like love it so much. No, it was so exciting. And from my perspective, I got a text from you. We're in a 3-hour time zone difference. You're on the west coast of Canada, I'm on the east coast of US, and I had a text from you at like my 2 a.m. or something that was like, you up, with like 5 exclamation points, and I was like,
what you want, girl? No, I saw, and so I woke up in the middle of the night. I seriously think that my spirit guides in the universe woke me up in the middle of the night so that I could celebrate this news in a more timely way with you, because I would have been pissed if I woke up like in the morning and then you were still asleep and I had to just like react all on my own and you were like asleep while I was like, but so I woke up in the middle of the night, I saw that text, and I actually had no idea that it would have been the engagement. It did not cross my mind at all. I was actually really confused. I was like, what is, I was like, you've never texted me anything like that, like anything that seemed very urgent. So I was really confused, but I had woken up in the middle of the night. And so I was like, what? I was like, what? And then, yeah, like within 10-15 minutes, you texted back all the pictures. I think you just texted the pictures of everything. And I was like, and I was like freaking out, and I was so excited and had a hard time falling back to sleep too, but not as hard of a time as you had sleeping that day and the next day.
Adrenaline. That's why I was just like, because I know even that night, it's like, because in my head I'm like, okay, well now we have to like FaceTime like our parents and stuff like that, because I don't know, I feel like that's just like what people do. In retrospect, I actually don't know if I would have done it the night of, but that's okay. That's what we did. So I tried to call my mom probably 4 different times. She didn't pick up. She eventually picked up. Talked to Bryce's mom, and then we did grandparents, and I mean, that's like 4 sets of grandparents, right? So
yeah.
And then our like really close friends. And by the time we did that, Bryce and I didn't spend like any time together that night, and we were exhausted, and we just like, it was late, and we just like ended up going to bed. And I mean, I didn't really sleep much because I was still really running on adrenaline. But then the next day we like spent more time just like hanging out, and we had like a nice little bath together, and I put my phone away because it was like my birthday and engagement all in one. So
yeah, so your phone was like blowing up.
It was or like people would text me, and then like before I'd even post it on Facebook, I'd be like, they text me happy birthday, I'm like, oh thanks, and then I'd like send them the pics, they're like, oh my god, and they'd be like, oh my god, and like just like the whole thing. But yeah, it was really great.
Yeah. So we'll tell a little bit about your and Bryce's relationship and how you guys met and how long you've been together.
Yeah, so Bryce,
you haven't talked about that much.
No, we haven't. I know yesterday when we were driving home, Bryce was like, oh, maybe you can have me on the pod sometime. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you have to earn it, though.
You have to earn it. And you promising your life to me is not enough yet. I think you should have him on the pod. I would love that.
Oh, I definitely want to have him on sometime. But I was you have to bring something like to add to the conversation that you want to talk about. I think that's kind of what I meant by earn it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like he needs to tell his own like abduction story or something like that.
Yeah, well, actually, this is how it came up. This is another quick sidebar, but we were driving home last night, and this is like a crazy story, but I feel like it's kind of relevant here. Yeah, well, sure. Kind of crazy. I think it's pretty crazy. So we were driving home, and we were listening. Like we weren't listening to any music, but we were talking about like what song to listen to, like when I came down the aisle, or I was like, oh, what song should we have when I come down the aisle? And he was just like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, that's probably, I'm like, you probably really don't like care either way. Like, it's fine. And he's just like, yeah. And then in my head, I was like, oh, what if it was like something crazy? And this was like all going in my head. And then I was like, what if it was like the Shrek song, like the somebody once told me, like that song? But I just had this thought inside my head, and I didn't actually say any of this out loud or the song. Yeah. And then we were driving, and like minutes later, Bryce started singing, "You're an all-star." No. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
It was crazy because we had no music playing, and we hadn't heard that song all day or anything. And he was just like, "Yeah, you're an all-star. Get your game on." Whoa. And I like looked at him, and I was like, "This is so crazy. You don't even know how crazy this is." And then I like told him, and he's like, "Oh my god, no way!" Like, yeah. And so that's kind of where that came from, because I was like, we literally just like you telepathically picked up on what I just said. Like, for sure. Like, there's no other explanation for that. Literally. Like, I didn't even say that. And in my head, I was like, oh, the Shrek song, like, came into my head. And I didn't even speak on it. And then he started singing it minutes later, randomly.
Mm-hmm. No, you guys are really in lockstep in your brains, so that doesn't surprise me, but that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was really cool. We had another incident, something like that happened recently too with Bryce. So I'm trying to like, that's why I was always also talking about earn it. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have said that in that way, but I'm trying to get his wheels turning as far as some like his own spirituality, not that he's not spiritual, but more like trusting that like he's also can tap into these things and stuff.
Right.
But we were hanging out with two of our other friends that also recently got engaged in Hawaii, and we're just having some drinks and like celebrating and stuff and playing a game. And one of the card was like hum a song, and then like the person next to you has to like guess what it is. And Bryce didn't even start humming, and our friend, she was like, my humps. And Bryce was like,
wait, what was the song she guessed?
She guessed my humps.
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of screamed that, but that's how it happened. That's how she did it. And so like Bryce, like he was like, okay, and he was like gonna start. He didn't even start humming, and she just yelled my humps, like by my humps.
Yeah.
Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
And then he was like so dumbfounded. Whoa. He just like looked at her and he was like, that's actually the song I was gonna hum. And he didn't even start to hum it. Crazy. So it was another like telepathic thing with like a song.
Yeah. Wait, when was this recently?
Yeah. This was only like a week ago, maybe.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
That was
We're all telepathically connected.
We are, but I love stories like that because like in both of those scenarios, the actual statistics of like that happening is super, 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 super slim. Like so slim. So it's like, yeah, it's you telepath. I want to like feel into that a little bit more because that was both like something to do with a song. So I'm curious how that like information from the song kind of like telepathically like traveled in that way.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
So cool.
And there was another time, I'll just say this quick, that I had like notes on my phone because Bryce and I were going back and forth. Like I think I went on his notes and he had like maybe like 2 notes. And I was like, oh my God, like you should see how many notes I have in my phone. I was like, guess how many notes I have? Like kind of just like casually. And he was like, just spit it out. He's like 590. And I was like, and I had my notes open and I was like, it was exactly 590 notes. And he guessed it like that because he didn't hesitate.
Oh my God. I remember when you told me that story and I was like, what?
It was crazy.
That was cool. So yeah, what is the extent that he's on the spiritual path? I mean, he'll be on the podcast, so he'll talk about his own journey, but I guess just, if you want to just sum it up or mention anything about it.
Like as far as like we're very much on the same page of like our beliefs and how we view the world, and I think spirituality together, which is like really great. I mean, I couldn't imagine having a partner like not like that. Like I think it would be really tough having an asleep partner in many different ways. Yeah, so I feel really grateful that we've been on that journey together. But I would say like I've dove a little bit more. So as far as Bryce, like on his spiritual path, like we're both awake in our spiritual journey, and as far as just like truth, I suppose, in the world, and he believes in all the things and like spirits and psychic gifts and all of that stuff. But I feel like when it comes to that kind of stuff, he's a little bit more like of an observer. Like if I do intuitive readings and connect to like my intuition and stuff, like he understands the concept of it, he believes in it, but I feel like he's not quite there yet with tapping into it on his own. And that could be for like many different, like there's probably a lot to unpack there too, between just like self-trust and just like, there's a lot,
Right.
like there's not a lot of people
And-
who are actively exercising their psychic abilities right now.
Right. And it also has to do with what his life is about and what, it's different for us. We're kind of going into things where we're trying to make it a part of our career and a part of our work.
Exactly.
And if it's a bit more separate for him, then maybe he doesn't necessarily feel a need to yet until he does, and until it calls to him in that way. But it kind of, he has an appreciation for it from afar right now, and maybe he doesn't feel a need yet to tap in and kind of apply it that deeply to his life. But it's nice that you guys have similar outlooks on life and everything, and I think that would be something interesting to talk about in general for the rest of the podcast, because just being in relationships with people, and sometimes people go one way or the other, and veer off throughout the relationship, and it's definitely a huge important topic right now, relationships and people and differing beliefs in relationships. And kind of, I just think at the base level, what matters the most is that he respects what you do, and he respects everything he respects how far you take it and apply it to your life and what you do for your business with it. And I think as long as, just in general, I would say that goes for any relationship, as long as they are respect what you do and don't think it as so crazy that they view you as
crazy.
Insane.
That would be tough. No, he's like super, super supportive of everything that I do, so that's really nice to have that. But I feel like as far as him tapping in, like he'll get there, because like I already know that he's like meant to like go there one day. And we have this book, it's interesting, I bought it a while, but I've never actually read it, but it's sitting on the shelf, You Are Psychic. And he's lately like just finished a book, and he's like, oh, I need another book, and I've kind of been like, well, this book is just sitting here, and I keep bringing it up every time, like when it happened in the truck last night when we had that like moment with telepathy. I was like, maybe look into this book, maybe start reading this book, so he can do that on his own time. But
just have the book, like it just drops from your backpack. Whoops. Oh, what's this?
But I am really grateful for him and our relationship dynamic, in that he does support me and doesn't think that this is weird or crazy, because there is a lot of like awake people or very spiritual people who their partner isn't like that at all, and like that's okay, that's their own journey. But I think for me that would be really hard, and all of this stuff we have very open, frequent conversations about, like it's very much a part of our lives. So that makes a really big difference too. It's just important to me.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, I'm single, I'm seeking someone, and there's a large part of me that I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna need someone that understands this path. I don't know if I need someone that's extremely right there on the same level fully, but whatever it's meant to be, it'll be. But how long have you guys been together?
I thought I already said this, but we've been together for 12 years, so a very long time, especially for our age. Usually when I tell people that, they're just like, "Oh, wait, what? Pardon?"
Yeah. So you met did you meet in middle school or high school?
Middle school, technically. Grade. Well, no, actually, we met in grade 6, but we started dating in middle school. So grade 9. Grade 9 would be, I believe, your freshman year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think so, right?
So you met in middle school, you started dating right beginning of high school.
We Wait, is that
what you said?
We started dating freshman year.
Yeah.
So grade 9. So I guess that's the beginning of high school for you guys.
That's the beginning of high school.
I guess it's a little bit different here. I guess grade 7 to 9 is like middle school.
Oh, okay.
And then 10 to 12, which would be your junior, sophomore, senior year, right? That would those are high school years here. But whatever, doesn't the technicalities of it.
And he's the only person that you've been with, right? Like maybe your relationship had ebbs and flows, but you've been really, you know, it's not like you had a period of time where you broke up and dated other people. Like, it's, you guys have been on this journey together for this whole time.
Yeah, we have been. I mean, yeah, so we were 14, I guess. That's a better way to put it. We were 14 when we first started dating. And I had a boyfriend before that for like a couple months, but that's not really anything too serious.
You think he's upset by this news?
He was actually my first kiss. Bryce didn't have a first kiss before me, which is really crazy when we think about that. Not a lot of people have that experience. Like, not a lot of people... Because I find Bryce and I are completely different people than who we were in high school, which I feel like a lot of people feel that. But it's really interesting how we've been with each other that entire time, and we've seen the growth and the changes, because sometimes you you break up with your toxic ex from high school, and then they always just stay your toxic ex in your mind or whatever, even though now that person might be at a different place and might have grown. And we've really witnessed each other through the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, like all the way through that, which is, it's a really interesting dynamic. I haven't met a lot of people that have been in that position before.
Yeah. It's like, I think I know a few people that have been with their person since middle school or high school. And I just think it's so interesting, soul contract wise, and just lessons and karmic lessons wise. It's just so different. The journey of, it's interesting that we have the representation on this podcast from both ends, of you being with someone for so long and like me not having that situation. I just think there's so many different lessons, right? It's like when your contract is being with someone for this whole long time, and you meet your person early in life, you have a different set of lessons to move through than someone that is single most of their life, or is someone that has one big relationship and then has to learn and grow from that, and has to go through a breakup. You know, it's like, we talk about this all the time. Like, you're like, I've never been through a breakup except for that guy from middle school from 3 months. No, you're like, I've never been through a breakup. And so it's like, you don't know what that feels like. And I have, and I've experienced the fucking worst pain ever from that. And so it's like, those were lessons that I have. And I just always think it's so interesting how we have these different kinds of contracts, relationship wise.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned relationships earlier too. We were talking about Bryce and I don't remember exactly what you said, but yeah, the relationship dynamics are super interesting, because I feel like being a human, like the human experience is relationships. Like, being a human is navigating relationships.
Yeah, because we're not on this planet alone. So part of life is navigating every single relationship.
And all of our lessons
it would be easier if we were on the planet alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our souls come here to like evolve, and all of our like curriculum, all of our lessons for our soul's evolution are through relationships. Like, all of them, really.
Yes, they are.
There's so many different dynamics with that. If that's like parental, friends, spouses, husbands, like partners, kids.
And they mirror you, and it's all about the triggers, and because everything is just meant to show you something within you. So it's like, we're in a world of mirrors.
Yes.
And I think too, there's sometimes only things that can be learned through a relationship. And I think at certain points, it's obviously there's so much to, I guess now I'm just kind of referring again to romantic relationships, but there's so much to learn from being alone and having long periods of time where you're alone. But then I think there also hits a certain point where you've learned all that you can learn alone, and then the universe has to, like, you literally, it's almost like your time's up. Like, now you have to learn a whole new set of lessons. And so, that's why you have to enter new relationships. But yeah, it can be applied to anything really. So yeah, was there anything else you wanted to share about the engagement, or you and Bryce, or kind of where you're at now. You'll continue to share some stuff, and you'll be talking about the wedding and stuff, and how that process is going. But yeah, anything before I move on to talk about some other stuff? Anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's everything for Bryce and I right now and the engagement. We're just really excited. Although I do have, like, if we're going to do show and tell, I do have something to show and tell.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Let's do show and tell.
Okay.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Bring it out. It is a... I don't know. Was that a drum roll? I don't know what I was doing just there. It's a crystal sound bowl. Dude, it's so weird. The sound does not travel through Zoom. Okay, wait, I'll stop talking so you can do it again. But, okay, do it again. It took a while because you showed it to me on Zoom before, and the sound was, like, not traveling. Okay, but go.
I'll just do a little.
But then it was
one.
after a while, after you did, like, a...
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, well, anyways, first of all, so I got this gifted to me by a coworker. So this is abundance, baby. This right here, this is abundance.
That's abundance.
I keep knocking it on my headphones. I just like walked into work and she had it just like sitting on the counter. I didn't even notice I came in. I said, hi. She's like, here, I brought this for you. I was like, what? Like my mouth was like just like open. I was like, what?
Yeah.
For me? For me? I was so excited. I guess
That's
she has
so
a lot
nice.
of them, and she wanted to just gift me one because she knew that I'd love it. But like this is a all like clear quartz crystal. I think it's a root chakra sound bowl, and it's probably like $400-500 to buy one.
Yeah,
of these.
those things are pricey.
Yeah. So I think it's really cool that I brought this into my energy field. I'm so grateful that she thought it, like, I was not expecting it at all.
Yeah.
It like made my entire week. I thought it was so fucking cool. I brought it home.
so
I'm like,
nice.
Bryce, look at this. And I love it. Like, I actually use it quite a lot, to be honest. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah? You've been using it?
Yeah, I do. Like, just like here and there, I'll just like play it. Or like when Bryce was in the shower and I just like took it in the shower and like closed the door and just like started playing it because it was all like a small room and like with the water and stuff, and that was really cool. But
Pro tip right here, just for anyone that wants to kind of try something new, if you've never heard of this or trying this, if you have crystal sound bowls, using them or combining them with water, combining your intention around so what I do a lot is I put on YouTube tracks of sound bowl healings and stuff, and I play them too while I'm in the shower, and I infuse my intention with it, and I tell the water to absorb. I mean, it does on its own already. When you have that sound playing near water, it already crystallizes the water molecules, but you can pair your intention with it and really kind of like combine that and ask the water to heal you. So if anyone has not really heard about that before, definitely try it and see your experience. So when you do the, I don't even know what to call it, when you put it around and have it go, how long does it like ring for without needing to touch it again? If you kind of do a little swirly like and you take the thing off, like how long does it go without touching it again? Like a few seconds?
I would say like a few seconds. I haven't really tried. Like you can kind of feel the vibration for a while.
Yeah.
Like
You can feel
down.
it. Well, that's why it's so cool having a real one. You can just like feel it all around. If you feel your body vibrate like.
Well, and that's really cool because that's what I was going to say too. I also would YouTube or on Insight Timer crystal sound bowl healings, and I would do that all the time too when I was in the shower or the bath and pair it with the water. And it's really cool. I love it. But like having one and hearing it in person, like just like feel the vibration from it, and just the sound compared to like hearing it over your phone is like really cool.
Awesome.
Okay, let me try it out. This is so cool, guys, and I'm gonna start using this in like healings and stuff like this.
Yeah, you can do so much recording cool stuff with it.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try to just balance it on my lap, so I don't know how this is gonna actually go. Okay, just gonna.
That thing is huge.
Okay.
I can't hear it from here.
You can.
I'll hear it when I edit the episode.
That's so weird.
It's so weird. I think it's just like, I think it's the vibration. It's like it doesn't get picked up on the computer. I don't know. It's okay. I hear it now. That is nice. Love it.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's pretty fucking cool.
Yay. Yeah, okay. That thing is... Wait, did you name it yet? Did I ask you that? Are you going to name it? Is that weird? Why do I name everything? I feel like everything needs a name. I was like...
You probably name your crystals, hey?
No, I don't name it crystals. I don't know. Just for some reason, I was like... I felt like you needed
I name everything too, but I haven't named her yet. But yeah, I do name everything too. We have a little house spider, and I've named her Priscilla. But I think Priscilla mated, so she needs to go.
Oh, well, that was some fun extra information.
Well, I'm very
Priscilla?
like the Reiki principles, like be kind to everyone, including animals. So like,
I honestly can't really kill bugs anymore. Sometimes I'll just like let them die, but I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it.
I can't either. So I'll just like let them outside or something. But like, so I've just kind of seen Priscilla, and I was kind of like, okay, we can coexist. Hi, Priscilla. Because she's always on the roof. But now I've noticed there's multiple Priscillas. so
Priscilla's multiplying.
Yeah. So then Bryce is like, yeah, I think Priscilla might have mated, and like, yeah. So I did see one Priscilla, and I let her outside the other day, but I seen a couple more today. So yeah,
Priscilla number 2, Priscilla number 3.
Yeah, so that might become a problem. So I might have to feel into that.
That's funny.
Yeah, but no, I haven't named the crystal bowl. In my head, Harriet keeps coming up. So I guess.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what her name wants to be, or him. I don't know if. That's great. Yeah, it will definitely the sound bowl will make more appearances either in recorded guided meditations. We also might try doing we might like switch up some episodes. We haven't really talked about this necessarily yet, but we're gonna change up some of the episodes, and then maybe we'll have an episode that's like a guided meditation or something, and
definitely,
or a sound healing or something like that. So yeah, so kind of cool stuff to look forward to there.
Definitely, I'm down for that. But yeah, anyways, I don't know if my coworker is working, but if you are, thank you so much. I love my sound bowl. I think it's opened up into a lot of different like healing modalities and things to do with it. Oh, and she gave me a little like book too. She gave it to me weeks later because I didn't see her for weeks, but she gave me this little book to go with it, this like sound healing and colors book.
Ooh, okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been having fun with that. That was a fun little bit of abundance that popped into my life. Love that.
Hell yeah. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So what's up with you?
I was just going to wrap that up with congrats on the engagement.
Thank you.
And we're excited. Everyone that's listening is excited for you. And happy to hear about it.
Thanks.
Yay. So, me, you can probably tell my background is a little different right now. I'm in Florida right now with my family. So, just bringing the mic on the road, just that influencer life, just setting up shop. No, and I'm pretty good. I was going to share some new things. I'm in this, I had this extremely vulnerable episode come out last week.
Yeah.
And, it's been, it was a lot to record. It took a lot to put it out there, but I'm really glad that I did. I'm also kind of at this point glad that I'm like over with it. I'm over, it's like the bubble is popped. It's kind of, it's out there, and I faced it. I faced my fears. I faced everything that I went through within it, everything that I described in it. It was definitely a really powerful one, relatable story. So I'm happy that that's out, and I kind of feel, yeah, I feel good. I feel like we're establishing some good new flow with the podcast, and yeah, now it's kind of fun to be in this whole new energy. I'm now that I'm done with the PhD, I'm really adjusting to what I would say is newfound freedom, because I just went from being in this one track mind, only focused on one thing, to now I have multiple things that I'm going to be juggling or focusing on, or that I get to put my attention on. And actually, for the first time, I really feel like that. I'm like, wow, I get to now that I have all this room freed up, I'm like, I get to focus on such a variety of different things and different projects, and the podcast being one of them. And I'm in the process of seeking employment to figure out my abundance source until we, make some more abundance out of the podcast and our socials and everything. But one of those other new projects that I'm going to be putting into the rotation of my lineup of where my energy will be divided into from here on out is I'm going to be writing a book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to be writing a book, and I'm excited. I feel like I'm just the most excited about the fact that just everything, kind of like I just said. I'm most excited about the fact that I am in this entirely new energy where I have cleared out space of this one thing that I had focused all of my life force energy on for 7 years. And now I have this newfound space to do these new things. And I had kind of known for a bit that I would be writing a book. So the book will be fully channeled. I don't know yet what it's going to contain. It's going to be exciting seeing when the universe tells me what the book will contain. But it will be a romance novel. No, I'm kidding. I don't even read. You know what? It's so fun. I talked all about how I don't read on the last episode. And, so just from that perspective, it's funny me being like, I'm going to write a book. And I'm like, I don't even read books. Or I know I told one person this, like my cousin's birthday dinner. I told her I'm going to be writing a book. She's like, oh, what kind of authors do you like? And I'm like, no, that's like not really an applicable question to me.
That's funny.
But besides that, it will be channeled theories, understandings, descriptions, teachings of the spirituality of astrophysics, the consciousness of celestial bodies. That's what I really want to get into. It's like, I feel like so much of my spiritual knowledge right now is based on the body and earth and all these other things, and maybe just these more general vague quantum physics aspects, but there's a whole universe out there with galaxies and black holes and stars and planets and gas and dust and movement and collisions and explosions and interactions. And I know a lot about all of those things, but I think there's a whole other story going on with all of those things that is the consciousness to those things. So I feel like, at least right now, it feels like the book will really be, I want it to be very outwardly astrophysically focused on the spirituality of astrophysics, of all of these things and all of these objects that I've been studying for like over 10 years. And so I haven't started really writing yet, but I have this starting concept to it. So I do have a video on my interdimensional account where I shared this download that I had. And so I would say this is really the starting point to the book. And it feels like this is kind of the seedling idea that's like me opening the door. That's my foot in the door to see what other information flows through to fill out this download. And the download was about masculine and feminine galaxies. So galaxies leaning masculine and feminine. And it was about the collision. So we have in the universe, we have everything in the universe is moving. And so galaxies are constantly moving, and they're moving straight. So it's weird because it's like everything is Yeah, that's another thing I didn't even really think about till now, but it's like there's a circular motion to so many things. Everything is cyclical, right? But what we kind of have is just galaxies, just like whoosh, they're just like flying through space, right? They're just moving. We're on track to merge with the Andromeda galaxy. If you Google pictures, if anyone's probably seen, maybe you've seen some cool pictures from Hubble Space Telescope or something of interacting galaxies. Have you seen any pictures like that?
No.
Of like galaxy mergers or like, because there's a lot of cool pictures that you can see of galaxies that are in the process of interacting. And so if you're interested in that, if you want to see what that's like, you can just Google merging galaxies or interacting galaxies, and we have cool pictures of nearby galaxies that are in the process of merging. We're on track to merge with the Andromeda galaxy. When galaxies merge,
Like when is that going to happen?
like billions of years, maybe millions of years. No, millions of years. Just millions is like is a really short time scale in astronomy. So probably like maybe more like a billion years or something.
Okay.
You know what's so cool too? This is just a fun fact. I remember I was so mind blown when I learned about this. Because of how far apart everything in a galaxy, everything in the universe, no, okay, I'm just talking galaxies. Because of how far apart all the stars in the galaxies are, if even if we were merging with Andromeda right now, there's the likelihood, so when two galaxies merge, the likelihood of stars hitting each other in each of those galaxies is infinitesimally small. Meaning that if we were merging with Andromeda as we speak, nothing would happen to the sun. Everything is so far apart that our solar system would not crash into anything, most likely.
Because I imagined like an explosion in my head.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of energy and there's a whole thing. I'm not sure like how gravitationally like if it would affect us, but it's just this fact that everything is everything meaning the stars within galaxies are so far apart that when two galaxies merge, none of the stars actually hit each other. There's probably maybe some interstellar medium, gas and dust and things that combine. And when you zoom out, it looks like obviously things swirling around, but we actually might not know if we were merging with the Andromeda galaxy. All that we could tell, the sky would look different because we see the Milky Way in the night sky, and so we might see extra streams of stars, or we might see depending on your point of view, you might be able to tell in the night sky. But technically, odds are none of the stars would collide. Isn't that wild?
That is wild. Not even like at the center of like the galaxies, because I feel like when you look at a picture of a galaxy, like it's very like lit up. It looks like a huge ass sun in the middle because everything's like, I'm assuming, more like condensed there.
So usually sometimes at the centers you have like a nuclear starburst region, or like kind of like a nuclear star, like a nuclear starburst, which is just a bigger cluster of a lot of star formation. But no, I think in the center, what happens is eventually the black holes collide into one. And so this is kind of getting back into that download a bit. So because basically what happens, and you can watch cool simulations of this. So just to remind everyone, like we can't see this happens obviously over a really long period of time. We can't see them interacting, but theoretical astrophysicists, they apply the physics and they make these simulations. So they make these movies. So there's a lot of cool simulations of galaxies merging. There's actually this really cool video that it's a simulation of galaxies merging, and actually within it is intercut real pictures of kind of each stage. So they have like a video of it going, and then they find examples of different pictures from each stage of kind of, so they do this dance. They like swirl around each other, and they kind of like go past and they go back in, and eventually they all swirl together and the black holes do eventually combine. So back to the download. That was just some other fun facts about galaxy mergers and stuff. Back to the download. It was, I had this download actually the day that I was writing the introduction to my thesis, which was kind of cool. And so at that point, I was really zoomed out. I was writing these two introductory pages to my dissertation that I really wanted to be like, okay, how do I boil down like my whole thesis into these 2 pages that could be read by someone that's not a professional astrophysicist and that might be able to understand it. And so I was really kind of zooming out and thinking about how to describe this generally. But anyway, so that whole day I was thinking a lot about galaxy mergers, because 2 merging galaxies are one of the theories for how active galactic nuclei, which was the subject of my thesis, are formed. So basically, when 2 galaxies merge, a lot of energy moves inward, and just a highly energetic process. And sometimes a byproduct of that could be after they've kind of coalesced and after the black holes have combined, because when they merge they end up over a really long time span forming a newer, bigger galaxy. That's what happens. They kind of they swirl and the gravity takes over and the angular momentum kicks back in, and eventually everything kind of regulates out and it becomes a regular galaxy as soon as the momentum kind of is able to bring everything back into place. And it could be followed by this episodic activity of a lot of black hole accretion and these AGN, active galactic nuclei, which are the most energetic bodies in the universe. So I heard someone talking about masculine and feminine and kind of like divine union, divine partnership, divine connection, and talking about them in terms of two forces of nature, forces of nature moving together and swirling into one very powerful force of nature. That's what it was. It was like these 2 energies merging and swirling together to form this unified force. Wow, this really is like a episode about relationships somehow, right?
Because I was thinking about like a black hole, or in that, because you're talking about black holes doing the dance, right? What if a black hole like had a twin flame or a soulmate?
Right. Yeah. And so it was like, okay, there's this union of human souls and love and relationship that merges. And I was like, and because that day I had been thinking so much about merging galaxies and 2 galaxies colliding, I was like, oh my God, instant download. What if these 2 merging galaxies are a divine, what if the reason that these galaxies are merging is because you have a divine feminine energy and a divine masculine energy, and that's what causes the 2 galaxies to move together in the first place. And this was a really important like realization and thought for me, because I actually I've never thought about that before. I've never heard anyone say that before. And so this was an interesting realization for me, because it came in so hot, just like a download. It's like, when you have a download and something just comes in, and it's that claircognizance for me. I think that's one of my strongest psychic abilities, or psychic clairs. Just claircognizance is just instant knowing, right? So I kind of just had this instant knowing. And it was so cool. I was like, I've never had this thought before. I've never thought about this before. I've never heard anyone say this before. And I was like, galaxies colliding is masculine and feminine energy merging. And then I was like, it brings me to these other thoughts of, the galaxies. So we don't really, what we try to understand what the method to the madness is in everything we do in astronomy and astrophysics, and trying to understand all the motion of these things, right? And from what I know, galaxies are just flying through space left and right. They're just flying around, and because everything is far away, but still there is this grander structure to things, and I guess like when you get into galaxies, it's like things aren't so far away that galaxies can't collide, right? So it's like when these 2 galaxies merge, it's like what has set these two galaxies on this path to collide with each other, and probably fate, probably some kind of soul contract. But then, yeah, so then just to get back into the masculine feminine stuff, then yeah, so then if I'm saying, or if this download and thought is like, okay, this galaxy's masculine and this galaxy's feminine, what makes a galaxy masculine? What makes a galaxy feminine? And the most I've thought about so far is inward and outward processes. Everything that we study in astrophysics is these forces, right? And so it's a lot of inward outward balance within a star, within a single within like a single spherical body. You have things don't collapse because you have a balance. You need to have some kind of balance of outward radiation pressure and inward gravity. So everything, all the fundamentals of astrophysics are learning about these two forces that are balancing each other. You have these outward forces and you have inward forces. And then you have that you can also apply that to the whole universe. We have an expanding universe, but like 70% of the universe is dark energy. And what dark energy is sometimes we refer to it as a negative pressure. So it's almost like it's keeping the universe intact. It's keeping everything in place so that it doesn't explode and fly away from itself and destroy itself. So you have that expansion, and also then just getting back into the spirituality of it, right? Divine feminine is this creation energy, this expansion. You think of a flower like blossoming, like outward expansion, creativity, flow, ease, like just free and out. And masculine energy is this grounded. Your masculine energy is the lower three chakras. It keeps it's grounded. It's kind of this downward strong force. And so, yeah, and it makes sense too. It applies to all aspects in life. What plants have masculine and feminine? It's like everything. And or like Earth is a feminine soul. The sun is a masculine soul.
Yeah.
So if these are just the other celestial bodies that we know about, or just anything that I know about so far yet, yeah, it's if they're if these have masculine and feminine, then who's to say that galaxies don't also have masculine and feminine energies? And then I'm thinking, like, what makes a galaxy masculine and feminine? At least for something that I'm thinking of right now, like, or maybe they change, maybe they go through a period of time where they're expressing more feminine, maybe they go through a period of time where they're expressing more masculine, because galaxies evolve a lot in their properties. And so I'm just thinking in terms of, like, there's galaxies that are a lot more, so we have there's a lot of different types of galaxies. There's elliptical galaxies, which are basically kind of just spherical balls of a lot of stars, and then there's spiral galaxies that have these beautiful spiral arms, and then there's barred spiral galaxies that have a little central bar in the center, that have a bar coming out of the center, and then spiral arms. And the Milky Way is a barred spiral galaxy. And within that, some galaxies are, in terms of their shape, some are flocculent, as we say. I love that word, which they're spiral, but they have like a lot of motion, or their features are just very like flowy and outward. And then there's some that are a little bit more rigid and like maybe a little more structured, and their spiral arms are really, really tight. So yeah, this is kind of where my thoughts are right now. Wanted to share this starting download. I think it's relevant to just talking about the book, because this download was kind of the seed, or when in knowing that I'm going to write this book, this download is kind of like, okay, I don't know what this book is going to be about yet, but I know I have one good idea about that I've never had before, that I've never heard before, that really sounds like the astrophysics of spirituality. And I'm just going to kind of keep going with that. And I think I'm going to start there. I think for when I'm writing the book, I'm going to start there. I'm going to try to write that up, see what else comes through with that, and kind of go from there. So, yeah,
I think that's a really cool concept. I'm excited to see kind of what else comes through from that.
Yeah. So I'll be sharing, some other things that come through along the way. And yeah, I guess I'll kind of just figure it out as I go. But that's a bit about what's up with me. I'm excited. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the name. I'm not gonna share what I have yet because I still don't know. But my higher self will tell me what the name is. Obviously, it will be revealed, and I'm going to ask. I plan on. Yeah, I plan on really, especially now. I'm really in this in between stage. I don't really know what's next. I plan on asking the universe to show me what's the name of this book. Show me this, and I'm gonna try to get the clues and really make sure that it feels right. But yeah,
nice.
Yep. Okay, let me think. Was there anything else I wanted to share with that? No, I don't think so. Yeah, that's really what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like I was just taking in what you were saying about like the galaxies and stuff.
I know. I said a lot there, but
letting it process.
Let's for a second. I think we're gonna wrap up this episode soon, but maybe for like a few minutes, because it's extremely timely. Want to talk about the UFO stuff?
Yeah, we can. Do you want to? Do you have time? Because I feel like that could potentially take a bit. Because like once we start talking about UFOs, like, we haven't really even dipped into our beliefs about aliens yet.
Yeah, so I just it's so timely and relevant that all this UFO stuff is coming out recently, and it's cool for me because I get some people asking me about it and kind of sending me things and being like, what's up with this? Like, is this really UFOs? And I'm like, and it's fun for me to finally be in this position. So
what you mean by the UFO stuff coming out and being relevant?
Right.
So what do you mean by that? Like, so there's been more UFO sightings in the media is what I assume you're referring to.
Right. So there's more UFO sightings in the media. Just this I believe on the same day of the Super Bowl, the government has, I believe Justin Trudeau put out this whole press statement or something. They've been saying that a lot of military bases have seen unidentified object, and they like shot something down. They're saying they're putting out this whole thing that they shot down this unidentified object.
Yeah, which is a UFO.
So this is what's happening, and also in general, you're kind of hearing a little bit more these days, or more sightings, and I'm getting some people asking me about that, and I just think it's relevant to mention it. I just wanted to say, I guess, my thoughts on it, and we're going to talk about it more, so we're not going to unpack anything crazy here, but my thoughts are that, well, there of course are UFOs and aliens in our atmosphere. They're around us. They're connected to us. But I think that I would just say to anyone that is listening to this, the most important thing is that there's nothing to be afraid of with this. That's what I really wanted to say, and kind of wanted to at least share my opinion on it. And this is what I've said to my friend, and I think this is what I feel like it's kind of our duty to help spread this message that there really is nothing to be afraid of. So of course my human opinion, when they're like, we shot it down, I'm like, all right, calm down. Like, oh God, it's a threat. Oh my God. Like, no, I think it's an agenda. I think there's an agenda to have people be afraid of this, and I think they're trying to make it seem like it's this thing that we don't know what it is, which is a fucking lie.
Yeah,
because they know everything. I mean, they literally know everything, so it's a lie.
It's been really interesting that the government lately has been coming out and saying these things. Like, I mean, I believe in aliens, and I have for a while. Like, even in our spirit guide episode, I alluded to like different ET guides that some of us have, how we've had lives on different planets, and I think once we get into the alien talk, we might have to dedicate a whole other episode to this, because there's like a lot to talk about. But I personally think it's a little naive to look at how big our galaxy is, how big our universe is, because that's something my mind can't even comprehend. You might have a better idea because you've actually studied this, but like, it's really difficult for the human brain to comprehend the actual magnitude of like our universe, and to think that we're the only planet that sustains life, I think is very, very naive, as well as pretty ignorant, honestly. Like, I mean, wherever you're at in your journey, like, that's fine. But it's like, I even remember years ago, I one time asked my dad, I was like, Dad, do you believe in aliens? And I was probably like in high school at the time. And he was just like, he thought for a minute, he's like, nope.
Hard no.
Yeah. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? I'm like, logistically, statistically, it doesn't even make any sense. And people are like, oh, well, you know, Earth is like such a gold mine. Like everything's like exactly perfect for humans to live. Yeah. Everything's exactly perfect for humans, which even that, like just that our planet is just some type of weird, like,
and it's like, maybe it is really rare, but multiply that by the statistics of everything. It's not going to be zero other ones, you know?
Well, yeah, and the other thing is it doesn't just have to be the right conditions for humans to live. Like, yes, we breathe this much oxygen, we need these temperatures, but how is it not possible that other beings can exist where they need? What if other beings exist and they breathe nitrogen?
This has been my biggest qualm with the exoplanet community and the exoplanet research. I always forget that I need to define what an exoplanet is. An exoplanet is a planet that is orbiting around a different sun that is not our own, a different star. So an exoplanet is just a planet in some other solar system that is not our solar system. Exoplanet research, they're always talking about the habitable zone. They're looking for the Goldilocks zone. That's what they call it. And they have all these ways of studying this. But I'm like, what? That's how we live. Who the fuck says that that's how any other life lives? Like, we exist in this, like this condition is ripe for our life to exist. But who's to say that who's to say that there's not a planet of fire beings and they're all made of fire and they all are alive? It's like everything could exist.
Well, yeah, because when you look at like how weird our world is, like we're so like desensitized and accustomed to it, but it's really weird that we're just floating on a rock, flying through space, going through to our jobs, and it's weird that you have 2 eyes, and it's weird that you have 5 fingers, and I look at fire all the time, and I'm like, it's really weird that fire exists. Like, how does that energy just like like all of these things, when you really think about it, are really quite strange. So how can something not exist outside of what you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyways, quick little breakdown on that. But yeah, so then anyways, what I think it's very interesting, there's been like, I mean, this is a lot more common knowledge now that through the 50s and 60s, there's a ton of alien sightings. Like, you can go back in the newspapers and look at those. However, those stories never made it to mainstream media. They were usually kept quite local. I believe the government didn't really want to make them mainstream for just like hysteria, or it was really something that was covered up. There's a lot of other things too. If you look into, like, I think it's the Blue Book Project with the CIA. That's a real thing.
Or is there something Blue Book? There's something called Project Bluebeam.
Maybe that's it. That's probably it. It's probably the Project Bluebeam. And that's like all about government, like government kind of enclosure of what they know about aliens or ETs or UFOs. And I mean, there's a lot, like, even if you listen to anything about Bob Lazar, who claims that he actually worked at one of these facilities and seen bodies, and I've listened to a few documentaries and read a few things from him, and he's a very, very smart, intelligent, seems to be grounded man that has no other reason to speak on these things. And he's not the only one, but he's a very popular one, and he's had his life threatened over and over, and he keeps talking about this, and his stories are quite crazy. Like, yeah, he was just Bob Lazar has a documentary on Netflix.
You can watch it. You can Google him. He was part of a team in the government that was working to reverse engineer UFO technology. They have They have UFOs. They've had them. They have these secret teams that they have the technology, and they have people to reverse engineer it, meaning taking this broken a crashed UFO and figuring out how it works and the jet propulsion and the way that it flies and the way that it moves.
The anti-gravity system.
Anti-gravity. Yes. And
free energy.
And so this has been going on for a while. It's not new. The government is not just saying, "Oh, this is so what is this?"
Well, yeah, and also all of the if you look back in history, the amount of like sightings from around the world, like there is like thousands of like actual reported sightings that usually don't make it to the mainstream media because the government don't let them get up that far. But there's like across the world of groups of people, stories of seeing UFOs, of seeing this. Like there's so many stories, so it doesn't even make sense. Like, are all of those people crazy and lying? There was this one, I think it was the 1990s, 1980s in Chicago, and there was a whole shit ton of UFOs, and pretty much like people were calling the cops because it was such this like bright light that was like streaming through their windows, and they didn't know what to do. And there's cop reports about it. There was like everyone that was like around what's Chicago, Lake Michigan?
Yeah, or I don't know. One of the lakes.
Yeah, so people that were all living around the Great Lake and in Chicago, like there was hundreds of sightings that night of like this group of like almost, I don't know, like 10, 20, 30 of them probably. And like that's crazy. All these people have these similar stories of these things that were just flying in the air. This was also a documentary, but there was like somebody who worked at probably an air base or something, and they had the little like radar thing. So he was speaking on picking them up and just like how strange it was. There was like a cop, but anyways, there's a lot of sightings that have happened all across the world at this point for many years. Even if you want to get into Ancient Aliens, there's some interesting stories from the ancients.
Aliens has some great information on Ancient Aliens. I resonate with a lot of the information on Ancient Aliens. And we're not going to get so much into it today. It was very relevant for the timing. Everyone's talking about it. I'm getting asked about it. And the moral of the story is it's an exciting time because, we just said all that we think about what it is, and this stuff is definitely going on. I just say the most important thing that I would want to say on this is that there's no reason to be afraid of anything.
No, I agree with that.
No reason to be afraid.
It's a resonant thing. It's with any beings. It's like with humans, there can be some really good I'm trying to stay away from good and bad, but like there can be some really positive energy humans and really negative energy humans. And I feel like that works either way. But we should do an episode where I channel more about this directly, but there are a lot of beings out there that are coming here to help us. And the same thing with the starseed children, like they're here to help the evolution of the earth. However, there is one thing that I did want to say about the recent sightings. It's very interesting that the government has kind of been putting them out and alluding to them, especially Justin Trudeau. And there is some predictions right now that are coming out, I think, especially with like kind of the rise of UFO sightings and like just like talk about them in like just like mainstream popularity and stuff. There's some predictions about the government maybe faking a UFO invasion.
Right. That is what Project Bluebeam is. It's about using holographic technology that has existed, humans have probably never witnessed with their eyes, using holographic technology to fake an alien invasion to invoke fear in the population is what that is. Yeah. So just be on the lookout.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel a little mistrusting with it coming out with the government a little bit. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what to make of it yet, so we'll kind of just wait and see. That is something that is possible that they could try to do from my perspective, from my viewpoint. I don't think it's that
far-fetched, and I think that if it were to happen, well, yeah, it could be this year. Just truly the fact that raise an eyebrow that they're talking about it now, and they've known about it for a while, but they've never put in the news until now.
Yeah.
It might be
and with
an agenda. There might be something up their sleeve.
It might be because, yeah, and again, I'll put my little tinfoil hat on.
We don't really
whatever.
know. Yeah, right. Put the tinfoil hat on. But the answer is we don't know. We don't have all the answers. This is just what we think. And yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting year, though. I think
so too.
I
and
think
stuff like sorry,
yeah. No,
stuff like this too, which is so important. This kind of comes back to, which we talk about in a lot of our episodes, using your intuition and building your intuition and like having that really solid, because when these things start to happen, being able to go to a place of using your own discernment, and then you feel into the energy of the events and the things that are being presented to you. So you make the decision in your heart, in your heart, whether something has truth to it, whether it's being deceptive or not. And like that comes from you instead of the government telling you, or even from me or Alyssa telling you. Like that comes from you. So just another point I wanted to make about just, I guess, the significance of learning to like lean into your intuition, and really how powerful that's going to be and how much that's going to be needed in these next, like now and the next years, like coming up.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta lean into your own discernment. Discernment's the key word here.
Yeah. Clarity and discernment.
We gotta wrap up now. But we'll talk more on that. But definitely some interesting stuff. Buckle up for 2023, folks. That's what I'm gonna say. Buckle up
definitely.
For 2023.
I think we're gonna see a lot more of this, but
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we'll wrap up the episode there. Thanks everybody for listening or watching. Please, on our YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot, so we really, really appreciate you when you do that. As well on Apple Podcasts, give us a rating, give a review. We really appreciate it. Smash the 5 stars. Take your best friend's phone, take your grandma's phone, take your dog's phone. Smash the 5 stars for us. We really appreciate it. Follow Alyssa at interdimensional.astrophysics on Instagram, and follow me at Mariposa Moonchild for more intuitive and empathic stuff. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next episode. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.